Green Tree Productions is proud to present Duncanville Weekly News. It's the good news just for the City of Champions, Duncanville, Texas. And now, here's your host, John Thompson.
Hello, world, America, Texas, and Duncanville, and welcome to this edition of Duncanville Weekly News for the middle of April 2018. Glad you're logged on and watching. Well, on this show, two subjects, Duncanville Panther baseball and Cathy Self-Morgan. Both of them took most of our time the last couple of weeks. And let's get started and start first with Cathy Self-Morgan. The Cathy Self-Morgan Way reception was held last week, and we were there last Tuesday afternoon. A year and a half of encouragement came to a successful conclusion as the street between Cedar Ridge and Greenstone was renamed Cathy Self-Morgan Way to honor Duncanville's winningest coach. The school district did a great job in hosting this event at the Sandra Meadows Memorial Arena foyer. Renee McNeely, the school board president, was the mistress of ceremonies, and after introducing everybody, including city council members and school board members on hand, she introduced a couple of the former Pantherettes who were playing for Duncanville when Coach Self-Morgan was hired in the early 2000s. Then husband Jack Morgan kind of reviewed the 17 years.
My wife, my best friend, and for the last 18 years, the head coach of the Duncanville Pantherettes.
Coach Self-Morgan thanked most everybody associated with this honor.
I get really nervous with people behind me, especially if they're students. And we did the dedication for Sandra Meadows. We did the dedication for Bob Alpert. We did the dedication for Phil McNeely. We did the dedication for Bob Rombach. And so when this came up for me, I was like, well, there's that handicapped restroom right there. There's that concession stand that Jack and I have worked way too many weekends trying to help money to help us travel and eat with the girls. So this is just surreal. I mean, when I drove across the road and saw it, I was like, how am I going to tell my haters? Turn right on Cathy Self-Morgan Road.
After introducing her assistant coaches, it was time for the unveiling. Then husband Jack made the remark of the evening.
But it is true, we're going to talk to the mayor about changing this to tollway.
Congratulations again, Coach Cathy Self-Morgan.
It's springtime here in Texas, and that means Duncanville Panther baseball right here on Duncanville Weekly News and the Panther Dugout Show. The Panther Dugout Show brings us updates and highlights of the past few games and a peek ahead to the Panthers' next games. The Panther Dugout Show is brought to us by James Memorial Chapel, the Pope Financial Group of Raymond James, by Leon Miller Commercial Properties, Singla Dental, Chubby's Family Restaurant on Cockrell Hill, and by the Wolverton Company. And now, with the Panther Dugout Show, here's John with all the highlights.
Hello, Duncanville baseball fans, and welcome back to the Panther Dugout Show. Well, since the last show, the Panthers have played 5 games, and here's how they did. Monday night, not Tuesday, due to weather predictions that turned out correct, the Panthers were at Irving Nimitz, who is 1-3 in district play. Junior Mark Abera is on the mound for the Panthers. And this was one of the worst officiated games that we've had in a while. Well, You be the judge. Was that a strike? It was called one, and Coach Fahey tries to get the umpire to get some help from his other umpire, but no. Here's some of the fans that were in Irving Monday night. Some parents. We go to the bottom of the fourth with no score. The Vikings have runners on first and second, one out when this Panther throwing era plated the first run of the game. Then with runners on first and third, this passed ball scored their run number 2. With 2 outs and a runner still on second, this line shot down the left field line plated their run number 3 with the batter on second with a double. He went to third on a wild pitch, and the next batter walked and went to second on this pitch. Then this, a double over David in left to plate both runners, and it's 5-0 Vikings. At this point, Caesar came in to pitch in relief, and he gets this fly out to Devin to center to retire the side. But after 4, it's 5-0 Nimitz. Nimitz scored 2 more in their 5th to lead 7-0. And then in the top of the 6th, Adrian leads off with a double to right center. And he went to third on a wild pitch. Then, with 1 away, Nick C. singles to right to plate Adrian. But that was it, and after 5.5, it's 7-1 Nimitz. But in the bottom of the 6th, with Adrian now pitching, this walk loaded the bases with nobody out. A ground ball to Adam at shortstop, and his toss to third got an out. But on the play, a run scores, and it's 8-1 Nimitz. This solid single to left loaded the bases with still just 1 out. Then this. A base clearing double to end the game. A mercy rule win for the Vikings. 11-1. Panthers dropped to 2-3 in district, and the Vikings raised to 4-1 in District 7 6A play.
Chubby's Family Restaurant on Cockrell Hill at Skyline is your full-service restaurant for Duncanville. Open from 6 to 9, Monday through Thursdays, till 10 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays. They feature traditional American cuisine. They offer takeout and delivery and are one of the very best catering restaurants in the area. Call 972-298-1270 and find out for yourself.
On a beautiful Friday night, the last one in March, the Panthers hosted the Irving Nimitz Vikings, who are also 2-3 in District 7 6A play. Nick Flores starts on the bump for the Panthers, and in the bottom of the 2nd inning with no score, Adrian leads off with a line shot to center for a single. And then with Nick C. at the plate, Adrian steals second base. Then Elias Laverio at the plate. Adrian steals third base, but he was left there. And after 2, there's still no score. After 4, no score still, and with 1 out in the Panther fourth, Nick C. nails a double down the left field line. And then Devin draws a walk. Elias is next, and he lays down a sacrifice bunt and moves the runners to second and third. So with 2 outs, Noah walks to load the bases. Adam is next, and he delivers. A sharp single to center to plate Devin and pinch runner Edward Ramirez. And Noah goes to second. But that was it. And after 4, it's 2-0 Panthers. We go to the top of the 6th with the Vikings having runners on second and third with nobody out. And this sacrifice bunt moves them to second and third. And now with 1 out, Coach Fahey puts the next batter on to load the bases, and the next batter hits a shot up the middle to plate 1 run and leave the bases loaded. The next batter hits a high chopper that Noah or Adam could not field, and another run scores to tie the game at 2, and the bases are still loaded. But the next Viking unloads them with this 2-base hit to right center. And after 5.5, it's now 5-2 Nimitz. We go to the bottom of the 7th, still 5-2 Vikings with David at the plate, and he singles to center with 1 out. Nick F. follows with another sharp single to left center, and David goes to second. But the game ended on a double play on a sharply hit ball by Ray. Final, Irving Nimitz 5 and the Panthers 2, and the Panthers drop both games this week to the Vikings.
Singla Dental, your hometown dental office, is proud sponsors of our DHS athletes and the Panther Dugout Show on Duncanville Weekly News. Singla Dental offers convenient, extended hours, and same-day appointments are available. Located at 541 West Wheatland with a website of www.singladental.com and the telephone number of 972-298-4677. That's Singla Dental.
Jane's Memorial Chapel is the only family-owned funeral home in Duncanville and is proud to offer caring and dedicated services from familiar friends. Rick Janes and his family, the owners of Jane's Memorial Chapel and Funeral Home, have served Duncanville area families in their time of loss since 1998. A beautiful and spacious chapel is offered, and Jane's serves all cemeteries. When it comes to finding people you can trust in a time of need, you can turn to Jane's Memorial Chapel. No one else knows families better. 811 South Cockrell Hill in Duncanville.
The Panthers had a non-district game scheduled with Fort Worth Southwest for Saturday, but because Fort Worth Southwest did not reschedule their game last Tuesday night back to Monday, they were canceled and made up that game, and the game with the Panthers was called off. On Tuesday evening, between rainstorms and a high wind, the Panthers hosted the South Grand Prairie Warriors, who lead the district at 5-1. On the hill for the Panthers is Mark Ibarra. In the top of the 2nd, with no score, the Warriors get runners on second and third, and with 1 out, have this base hit to left to plate the first run of the game. and leave runners on first and third. After the runner on first stole second, this sacrifice fly to Devin in center field plated the Warriors' second run and leaving a runner on second base with 2 outs. The next batter laid down a bunt to Ray at third, and he tried to get the runner going to third base, but the ball ended up in left field, allowing the runner to score run number 3. The Panthers get the third out of the inning when Noah at first base makes a nice catch on the foul ball, but after 1.5, it's 3-0 Warriors. We go to the Warrior fourth, still 3-0, and they have a runner on third, and this hit plates him. And after 3.5, it's now 4-0 South Grand Prairie. In the bottom of the fourth, Nick F. leads off, hitting a dribbler to second base, but the second baseman hits the wall with this throw to first, and Nick is on second. Next, Ray puts down a bunt, and the pitcher's throw gets over the first baseman, and Nick goes to third. Adrian gets hit by a pitch to load the bases with nobody out. After 2 strikeouts, Devin hits a high fly ball down the right field line that's misplayed by the Warrior right fielder, allowing Nick and Ray to score. But another strikeout into the inning, so now it's 4-2 Warriors after 4 complete. In the top of the fifth, with a runner on third and a run already in, this sacrifice fly to Elias made it 6-2 after 4.5 innings. Did I mention that it was cold and windy at Coach Bob Bromback Field? For this game. In the bottom of the fifth, David leads off with a nice single to right field. Then with 1 out, Ray lines a single to right. And the Warriors right fielder makes up for his earlier error by throwing out David at third base. But Ray is at first, and Adrian is next, and he laces a double to left, and the left fielder throws poorly to second base, allowing Ray to score. And Adrian is in at second. Isaiah Anderson pinch runs for Adrian, and he went to third on a wild pitch, and then when Nick C. hits a shot up the middle, Isaiah scores the Panthers' 4th run. And after 5.5, it's 6-4 Warriors. In the Panthers' 6th, with 2 outs and none on, Adam hits it over the right fielder for a 2-base hit. And Edward Ramirez runs for him. David is next, and he hits a shot down the left field line to score Edward. But David is left stranded, and after 6.5 complete, it's 6-5 Warriors. The Panthers were 3 up and 3 down in the bottom of the 7th. Final, South Grand Prairie 6 and the Panthers 5. The Panthers dropped to 2-5 in District 7, 6A play.
Leon Miller Commercial Properties is a proud sponsor of the Panthers Dugout Show on Duncanville Weekly News. as he enjoys helping to promote our DHS athletes as no one else is. Leon owns office and retail space in the heart of Duncanville on Main Street. If you're looking for a convenient, accessible, and well-kept space to rent, call Leon at 972-709-7181. He'll fix you up. The Panther Dugout Show is sponsored by the Wolverton Company, serving Duncanville, Southwest Dallas area for over 78 years. Wolverton has been a proud sponsor of Duncanville Weekly News since their day one in 1991. From HW to Thomas to Keith to Matthew, Wolverton provides the best heating and cooling and air conditioning service there is. Call them at 972-296-COOL. That's 972-296-2665.
The Friday game at South Grand Prairie was moved up to 5 o'clock due to a weather forecast with wind that at that time was from the south. Nick Flores is on the bump for the Panthers, and it's the bottom of the first with no score. The Warriors get a run when the runner on third base scores on this hit to center field. And then this catch in right field by Elias killed a Warrior rally. And after one, it's 1-0 South Grand Prairie. In the Panther second with one out, after Nick C. reached on a shortstop error and Isaiah Anderson ran for him, Adam lines a single to left, and Isaiah goes to second, but two strikeouts ended the rally, and after 1.5, it's still 1-0 Warriors. At this point, the loud Grand Prairie sirens went off, and the teams headed for shelter. As it turned out, they never needed to leave this game, and it was suspended for 2.5 hours. That's what I said, 2.5 hours, other than a very few drops of rain and a change in direction of the wind. The weather was plenty good in which the teams could have continued to play. The Warriors hit two two-run homers in their third to now lead 5-0. And the Panther fourth with one away. Adrian singles to center field. And then with two outs, Adrian had stolen second. And Adam singles to left, but not deep enough to send Adrian home. So the Panthers have runners on first and third with two outs and a ground ball out. Fielder's choice ended the rally, and after 3.5, it's still 5-0 Warriors. We go to the South Grand Prairie fifth, and they have two on and one out. A double steal effort paid off as the throw to third went to left field. And one run scores, and the other runner went to third. The Warriors load the bases with two walks, and then Caesar is now pitching for the Panthers, and he walks the next batter, and it's 7-0. The next batter struck out, and after 5 innings, it's 7-0 Warriors. We go to the top of the seventh with two outs and none on, and Caesar grounds out to short to end it. Final, South Grand Prairie 7 and the Panthers 0. The Panther batters struck out 13 times in this one. On Saturday morning, the Panthers, Arlington Oak Ridge, coached by former Panther assistant football coach Gary Cajero, and the Owls beat the Panthers 10-5 in a game played in temperatures in the high 30s. Each show we have a play of the week, and this time it happened in the first game with South Grand Prairie when trailing 6-4 in the bottom of the seventh with two outs and one on, and representing the tying run, David Budzinski laces a double to left, driving in the runner and getting in scoring position at second, and that's why it's the play of the week.
The play of the week is brought to us by the Pope Financial Group of Raymond James. For all your investment needs, call John at 972-780-0533 or come by 222 East Wheatland right here in Duncanville. It's the Pope Financial Group of Raymond James.
The district standings for District 7 6A look like this. So with 8 of the 14 district games played, South Grand Prairie is the top at 7-1. Irving MacArthur is 6-2. Cedar Hill 5-3, and Grand Prairie is 4-4, along with Irving Nimitz. Irving is 3-5. The Panthers are a surprising only 2-6, and DeSoto is 1-7. Well, the Panthers have 4 more games in the next couple of weeks, and here's where they are. With District 7 6A action over halfway finished now. Tuesday, April the 10th, the Panthers will be at DeSoto, and then they will host the Eagles on Friday the 13th. Then, on the next to the last week of district action, on April the 17th, Tuesday, Irving MacArthur will be here, and Friday the 20th, the Panthers will go and play at Irving MacArthur. We'll be back on or before April 24th with highlights of those games. Last Saturday in Waco at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, our Cathy Self-Morgan was inducted, and here are some excerpts.
While Cathy Self-Morgan is well known as one of the top high school basketball coaches in the state, she was also an outstanding athlete, and in fact was one of the first women to receive an athletic scholarship to the University of Texas back in 1974. She has been selected to coach the Texas High School Coaches Association All-Star Game 5 times, the McDonald's All-America Game twice, and the Jordan Brand Classic. She has been named Coach of the Year by Max Preps, Dallas Morning News, USA Today, the National High School Coaches Association, the Texas Girls Coaches Association, and she was selected as the National High School Girls Basketball Naismith Coach of the Year.
I never knew inequality until I went to college and was told that there's a small girls' gym down there with no air conditioning. There's the boys' competitive gym, the huge one with air conditioning. We drove our cars to get to games during those days. That was in 1974, right before Title IX. Or we packed in a van like sardines as we watched the boys walk into a leisure charter and go off to their game to play. I never called myself a women's liver, but I learned then to fight for well-deserved rights and fairness. And in the 41 years that I've been coaching, I teach and I coach and I influence all the young ladies in my lives the same way, to expect equality and fairness, but never take it for granted. I will never take for granted that day in 1978, my first job, first day at school, and this young lady called me Coach Self. I mean, I just got shivers and goosebumps and was like, wow, I hit the top, the best of the best, to be called Coach Self. I'd like to thank my best friends from high school, Barbara Dornick Christian, for pushing me to be the best, to just try to beat her out of position when we were in high school. My former assistant and best friend, Alicia Walker. My best friend and school counselor that helps me keep our players in check and keeps their grades in place, Chad Fitzgerald. Longtime Pantherette supporters that have been with Jack and I for 18 years, Royce, Tammy, Nancy, Don, Cliff, John. I'd like to thank my current coaching staff that are here, Tierney Thomas, April Zachary, Destiny Castillo, and Stephanie Cooper. My daughter Kristen, who grew up in the gym, on the school bus, in the training room, and in the locker room. She'd be hiding around the door in the hallway, and when she saw me coming out of my office, she'd run into the gym, and all of a sudden I'd hear balls bouncing. So she was always the lookout for my teams. Most of all, I'd like to thank the love of my life, my bookkeeper, my clock keeper, my announcer, the music man, my date every Tuesday and Friday night, my partner, Jack Morgan. I'd like to thank the Texas Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. I'd like to thank God for having us all here and healthy. I'm truly humbled and honored to receive this evening. Thank you very much.
So the next step for Cathy Self-Morgan has got to be the America's Basketball Hall of Fame. And when she gets in, who's going to be surprised around here? Once again, we'll be back on April the 24th with highlights of the baseball games as well as the Panther basketball banquet that will be held in the meantime. As we close, let's see some more excerpts from Cathy's acceptance of her induction at the Texas Hall of Fame, athletic-wise. And we'll see you April 24th.
I can only say one thing. It's their fault that the weather is almost freezing on April 7th. I think that throughout these stars' lives, they've told their opponents they were going to be Hall of Famers one day, and those haters said, when hell freezes over. And this is most definitely not hell, but we are suffering the cold from it. I grew up in a very small town south of here called Jourdanton, Texas. I have middle child syndrome. It's not contagious, but it does happen. I saw my older sister Mary as beautiful and perfect in everything she did. My older brother Mike, well, he was the boy, he was the son. And my little sister Judy was the baby, and of course she got everything she ever wanted. I was taller than most of the boys at school and skinny, and I had very low self-esteem and self-confidence. I had no choice but to hang in there and just do my absolute best every single day in everything I did. My high school coach I had from 6th grade through 12th talked me into playing basketball and getting involved in athletics. All of a sudden I'm being picked to play on the boys' team because I could rebound and give it back to them to shoot. I gained self-confidence and self-esteem through athletics. I started believing so much in what athletics gave me that I wanted to be a part of the same thing my high school coach was and give that back to young ladies and help them to become independent, self-sufficient women and confident and have high self-esteem.